Well, guys, I guess I got some news about 10, 15 minutes ago. This interview.
Shit. You're right. Sorry. I was fixing with the audio and I'm starting over again. I'm kidding. Here I am. I'm fine. This is all right. It's just a lot. Sorry. It was, I was seeing audio, but no sound. I get it. You couldn't hear what I said even before because I was swearing anyways. And it's probably best because what I said leading up to this point would have gotten me kicked off of YouTube permanently. No, I'm kidding. So, welcome and hi and congratulations. Welcome to Happy Indictment Day. Let's start again, shall we? It's House March Megaworldwide, and Donald Trump has been indicted by the DA in New York, by a grand jury in New York. Now, the charges that he's being indicted on, we assume they have to do with the Stormy Daniels hush money payment and, paying for his campaign, using campaign funds to pay for hush money, which is a in-kind payment, and then reimbursing Michael Cohen, who went to jail for this shit already. So, anyways, the upside is that yes, while we assume that's what it's for, it could be a lot more and a lot worse. So keep your fingers crossed because his company's been indicted, his CFO has been indicted, and now it's his fucking turn. So it could just be that single payment. It could also be a shit ton of other stuff that partly may have, the indictment, part might have come up because the timing of it is very interesting. Alan Weisselberg had lawyers that were being paid for by Trump, by the Trump organization and Trump in particular. He fired those people or they quit or were no longer being paid and they pissed off. Either way, that's when the grand jury indicted. And apparently Alan Weisselberg has testified in front of this grand jury, I do believe. So hi, welcome. This is it's an extraordinary day. It's pretty hilarious. Did I type? I was in a big hurry, so I'm sorry. Oh, did indicated, not indicted? What did I write? Oh, I see. So did my show notes? I'm sorry. I'm going to start over again. I'm kidding. I'm back. Hold on. It says indicated on my titles thing. That's not right. Let me restream. Frigging da. Why would you do such a thing? Log in. There we go. I get this. Oh, where does it say indicated? It says indicted on my page. I don't know what you're talking. What's happening? All right. All right. So yes, Trump said indicated. Fucking hell. I see. You can't just like. There's all this stuff coming in. You can't assume I'm seeing all of it at the same time. Trump's been indicated. I see. Well, quite frankly, that might not be an accident. That might be Trump actually being, it being indicated that he was indicated in other things or something. Hold on. Truth Social Donald Trump. We'll bring up what he has to say. It's going to be a good time. Oh, there it is. So yeah, The Independent is calling it. There you go. Trump misspells indicted in Truth Social blasting thugs and radical left monsters. I'm surprised he didn't write thumbs and mobsters, but whatever. But his outrage over the matter seemed to prompt him to misspell the very word he wanted to emphasize. He fumed that thugs and radical left monsters had indicated him on criminal charges. This is an attack on our country, the likes of which has never seen before. It is likewise a continuing attack on our once free and fair elections. The USA is now a third world nation, a nation in serious decline. So sad. These thugs and radical left monsters have indicated the 45th president of the United States of America and the leading Republican candidate by far for the 2024 nomination for president, he wrote on Thursday. Grand jury voted to indict Trump on criminal charges over hush money payments to adult film star Stormy Daniels days before the 2016 election. It's currently unclear what the charges are and if they do stop at that point. And does it say the indictment said nope? Okay, so they don't have the. I thought now I would think if they have a link that says the indictment and I click on the indictment, it would lead me to a copy of the indictment. I'm such an asshole for thinking that. Why would I think that? That's not good. Yeah. Level 7 hype train. All right, everybody's just happy today. Please support the show, patreon.com/HalSparks. Super chats, Venmo, which is right there, over there. My hand disappeared. Oh no, Venmo is right over there. Or Cash App, if you have that, take the Cash App or Venmo challenge, send it $5 and just say thank you and enjoy the show and all that kind of stuff. Super chats. Oh my gosh, Dennis, it's my wife's birthday today, Hal. She couldn't be more happier. She said she's glad we're sharing this day with Hal. Well, I'm glad too. Where'd it go? Why did the page stop then? It just freaked out. I'm happy too. Thank you. Oh my gosh. Such the craziness. I still say check the coffin. I agree. Yeah. Maybe it's under indicated. Yes, that's right. Indicated cause it feels so good. Indicated he's not understood. All right. So, yes, it's everybody's birthday today. Hilarious. It's fucking hilarious. It's the day got indicted and we're all here to... And you know what's funny is there's a couple things. One, right, let me get this cleared up right out of this. Okay, first of all, the Republicans at large have totally memory-holed fucking Whitewater. This idea that they're like, they hate the man, so they're just searching for a crime, which dogged the Clintons. The Republicans started this shit out of revenge for Nixon being caught doing the shit that he obviously clearly did. They didn't have to hunt for what he was up to. I think one of the guys' names actually was Hunt. Anyways, his first name was not Michael, though, for the record. So I would like to remind everyone about Whitewater and the fishing expedition that Republicans went on with Ken Starr and all that, and that ultimately ended up in a consensual affair that Bill Clinton never paid to cover up. He lied about it because the definition of what sexual relations are, he believes that's intercourse and head doesn't count was the idea. That's up to him. And that certainly, legally, they're both lawyers. That's wiggle room enough. But for the record, he never, used campaign funds or public funds or any of that shit to shut her up. That was just embarrassing. That's all it was. It was just, all right. And they hounded him about Whitewater and all that shit and the Clinton body count and all that nonsense for a long time. And the only thing that came out was an embarrassing affair that had like nothing to do with public corruption. It's just a personal issue between him and his wife and Monica Lewinsky and whoever they tell sex stories to in their friend circles. None of my goddamn business. This is different. And the same thing, by the way, would have applied to Stormy Daniels and Trump and all that. It would have been gross, but it would not have risen to the level of, criminal on a presidential scale. It just wouldn't have. As a matter of fact, the irony is that for all the bitching that they believe that Clinton got away with it after all that, even though he was impeached and not removed, Trump thinks that Trump paid to make sure that his affair stayed hidden. If he'd have just let it fly, it wouldn't have affected shit. I mean, the man admitted to sexually assaulting women on the regular, and it didn't lose him votes in the Republican Party, ultimately. So why the fuck would they care about an affair? Level 9 hype train. I swear to God, you guys are magnificent, and it's wonderful, and thank you, and it's just great and fabulous and wonderful to thank you, and Ninka Crinkles, and thank you, Shadow Woman, and thank you, Go-Go Genzilla, for the gifted subs. You guys are wonderful. Yeah, and now he's just, oh my gosh, LM, thank you so much for the super chat. You guys are being so sweet. Look how happy you guys are. This is nice. I'm glad. Is it Carrie? I'm glad. First time on the chat. Hi. Well, welcome. Glad you could be here. Deb Keith also. Thank you for the upside down 666. Appreciate it. Okay, so let's get into some of this stuff. Hold on. I want to look for something. Indicted. I almost wrote Trump indicated. Man, all the news stories are. Yeah. I'm hoping to find like a Newsmax panic on this shit. God, they're gonna be so very miserable. It's just I just wish we could go to Greg Kelly live right now. All right, we'll dig it up as we go along because there's so much shit going on. It's just hilarious. Okay, but first, one of the people to break the news apparently was this guy who apparently knows Trump from a long time ago. They don't have much of a relationship, but they have spoken. They have the same. Let's see. Let's back up. Yeah, there we go. This is on his and on the 20th episode. About to beat your last record. Keep up the support. I'm about to beat the hype train record that we had. Apparently, we've had a 9er before. We're about to get 10. It's gonna happen. 8% left. You could do it. Bits and subscriptions. If you have Amazon Prime, it doesn't cost you a dime. Subscribe on Twitch right now as I'm watching it happen. Right, it's 93%, 94%, 95%. It's so exciting. Excuse me. It's 96, 98, 99, 100. Oh my gosh. Joe Space just used 2,000 bits and drove us over the top. That's amazing. 100%. Hype train. It says hype when it goes across. Do you guys on Twitch see that? HYYYYYPPEEEEE. Level 10 hype train. This is definitely a red letter day. So many historical things. First, former president indicted for a crime, and our first level 10 hype train. I'm very excited. Ready to be an 11. I'm excited. Well, let's see what this poor sap had to say. And this is breaking news. Trump indicted and media's sick shooting response. Joe Kent and the battle for America's future. So I guess he thinks he's going to not talk about this the entire show. That's hilarious. Let's see, shall we? Tick tock, tick tock. You guess? That would be news. His interviews being good would be a stop the presses moment. Cool. Unlike your Bone Spurs dad, right? And unlike your entire family that never served because your dad thinks it's for losers. Please continue. Oh, I see. So it was a perfect interview to not know what was coming. And so, shit. Well, you could push it to tomorrow. I'm just saying, oh, Carol, thank you. Na, 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 na. Hey, hey, hey. Goodbye. Right. I'm going to help you with a fundraiser. My dad's going to pretend to raise money for you. And then he'll use funds from your charity to buy a painting of himself, but then insists on sitting on the dais as other people speak. As a family. He means the Trumps, not us. We're fine. What? Oh, wait. Really? Is it muted on that? Wait, 1 second. Hold on. Shit. I'm laughing at him and you guys can't even hear it? Wait. Back up here. I'm going to try something. 1 second. That's so lame. I'm sorry.
You don't think
there it is.
That the weaponization of the entire federal government against their...
Okay, no. Back up. I apologize for that. I ran in today because I was watching the indictment story on the news. The indicatedment story on the news, and I didn't flip all my switches. I'm so sorry. Okay. I'll rewind. Don't worry. We're going to hear it all. It's good. So, go ahead. Here we go. All right, here we go. He was just saying that he taped this interview ahead of time.
Tonight is actually a really good one with my friend Joe Kent, a hero, a war hero, a fighter, a Gold Star husband.
Beautiful, by the way, Joe Kent. Thank you for your service. No indication. I don't give a shit about his politics in that regard when it comes to that stuff. Thanks for your service, all that stuff. Although I will say it's a bit weird to say someone's a war hero and then call him a fighter, because I think they kind of go hand in hand. But all right,
all around badass. But we actually taped it like 2 hours ago. A couple hours ago, because he was in town, and I was like, hey, I'm going to help you with a fundraiser. Let's do whatever we can, because I believe we are in a fight for the future of our country, for our very existence.
He means, that's what I was saying, that he means the family. He means the Trump family's existence. By the way, there's an article in the Daily Beast today about Ivanka Trump's friends basically saying, yeah, she's done with her dad. She's not talking to that motherfucker anymore. She's just staying away.
And
I don't know if he's been crying. People are asking in the chat if he's been crying. I doubt it. I think he's just baked again. I think he's been medicating, which is what the Trumps do instead of cry, I'm pretty sure.
Man, I guess I was proven even more right than I would have ever imagined, because apparently...
apparently my dad is a criminal.
You know, Soros-backed Manhattan District Attorney Alvin Bragg is...
Yes, because Soros also backed the entire grand jury. All those people are having their rent paid by George Soros.
Actually indicting my father. So let's be clear, folks.
Yes, let's be clear, folks. Unlike his eyes.
This is like communist level shit.
Yeah, absolutely. Communists hate when you pay off porn stars. They believe that everyone should take turns being the porn star and take turns being the president. Well, the candidate anyways. And there's like a committee, and they take turns bi-weekly, and everyone shares in the shitty hand job duties, and then shares equally in whatever spoils, and then everybody has to do sheets.
This is stuff that would make Mao, Stalin, Pol Pot, it would make them blush.
Okay. Mao and Stalin killed tens of millions of people. Stalin did the Holodomor. Pol Pot murdered people hand over fist in his fucking country. He was known for murdering people for being intellectuals just because they wore glasses. If you wore glasses, it meant you read too much, so they would kill you. You know, and this guy, 3 mass murders. And this motherfucker thinks what's happening to his dad is on the scale of what happened to peasants under Stalin or Mao. Or even other leaders, for fuck's sake. Like, no, your dad is getting spanked for a fucking hush money payment, you prick.
It's so flagrant. It's so crazed. When even like the radical leftists of the Washington Post...
Yes, the Jeff Bezos radical leftists of the radical lefty, radical left-wing radical Washington Post, run by left-wing radical Jeff Bezos of Amazon bookstore fame,
are out there saying, it's not really based on facts, it's not really based on the law, it's not really based in reality.
Much like your dad's entire career. Yes, yeah. Just like your finances, not really based on facts, not really based on reality. Thank you, Kathy. Oh my God, for that super chat. Bless you. Thanks so much.
But it's 100% based on politics when your enemies are saying that?
They might not be your enemies. Secondly, I don't think they're saying that. You should... There's a danger to skimming articles, especially when they're about yourself.
It's got to tell you everything you need to know right now about...
You're right. We don't need to watch any more of this. Thanks very much. Yeah, you're right. We're all wasting our time listening to you because that's all we needed to know. Oh, poo picker upper. Thank you so much. Celebrate. Celebrate indicated. Come on.
Where we are as a country. You see what.
Yes, that we are dealing with the ramifications of electing a low-level hood former game show host, serial sexual assaulting pig who lied to the banks and the IRS about the worth of his properties and basically took over his dad's company as a second-generation rich kid and fucked the whole thing up like everything in his life. Yes, that's what we get as a country for allowing that asshole to get elected. Yes, this is a problem. We understand. January 6th, all this is our lesson to learn is letting someone like your dad anywhere fucking near the White House is going to be a pain in the ass for probably a decade or two afterwards. So yeah, that's where we are as a country. I will say though, it's a little bit like pulling back a wound and showing somebody your stitches when you know you're going to survive. You're like, oh, that looks fucked up. You should have seen it when it was open. Now it's healing. It'll be all right.
What's going on this weekend?
He is a game show host. He wasn't a fucking reality host. There was nothing reality about that. The producers picked the winner. Ask Mark Burnett. It's a fucking game show. The Apprentice and Celebrity Apprentice were fucking game shows. The only difference between The Apprentice and Wheel of Fortune is that Wheel of Fortune isn't at its very root fucking embarrassing.
And the apologies for the trans shooter. You saw the press secretary, maybe. I know I tweeted about it early.
Of course you tweeted about it. It was like suddenly you guys give a shit about the motivations of school shooters because this person identified as trans for about a week.
Earlier saying, we're really concerned about the trans community. Yeah, because it's them, right? It's them.
Yeah, I totally understand what you're saying. We don't know what you're saying. None of us. You can't leave entire sentences out when words are making their way from your brain to your mouth. I mean, it's nice for us because we get fucking tired of hearing from you. But when we're trying to understand what you're talking about, you can't just you can't self-edit because you think we know when you don't know.
So, apparently, this corrupt leftist DA isn't.
There's a difference. I mean, isn't leftism and ism its own level of corruption on its own?
Indicting my father on claims.
My father.
That even the federal government that spent 6 years trying to put him in jail, even.
No, they did not. They did not spend years trying to put him in jail. As a matter of fact, they were really willing to settle with put him out to fucking pasture. I gotta say, asshole, you should have quit while you were ahead. Honest to God, I think all of these charges, but and obviously he wouldn't have committed the one in Georgia if he'd have just taken the hit, been impeached, and fucked off, and been like a hero martyr. And all that kind of. If he'd just taken his fucking lumps, a lot of the Republicans would have continued to back him. But he had to fucking push it. He just couldn't let shit go. And had he done that, do I think this would have still been a crime? Absolutely. Do I think it still would have earned an indictment? Of course it would have. Do I think they would have gone through it if he'd already been put out to pasture and shut his fucking trap? No. He would have dropped off the radar. They would have dealt with other shit. But he made himself a criminal priority. The same way, by the way, that mafia guys do it all the time. A lot of times, mafia RICO shit will just hum along in the background for fucking decades until one of the dons or one of these mid-level capo fuckers or whatever they are in the mob starts getting mouthy and thinks they're the next Al Capone, and then they start, doing one too many fireworks displays in Little Italy, and then eventually, all right, this fucker's got to go. And even the other families are like, yeah, have at it. Not take him. Yeah, he's a fucking pain in the ass. We'll find somebody else.
They didn't want to touch it, and
well, it's because it's a state crime. See, the federal government definitely has federal election laws, but the states also have election laws, and they're allowed to go after them, especially if the crime stacked up in their state. If it's a multi-tiered assault on the state, both their tax base and the other laws involved. Because I got news for you. The big fear in Trump world is threefold. One is there will be a Whitewater aspect to this, which is because Joey Peanuts, or Joey Taco Penis, I think is what what Steph and the crowd call him. Trump's current attorney, who's been the one on the news lately, the dude, he fucked up the other day. And we watched it happen in one of the clips where he said, payments like this to Stormy Daniels happen all the time. They're not crimes. It's not a crime, and they happen all the time. The problem is that the timing of it and the purpose of it is the nature of the crime. So what happens is they get in court, and because he said that, the prosecution can say, all right, if you're saying this happens all the time, show us the other payments. If you're saying he's made 20 payments like this, or 10, or 6, or you're saying other people made it, that's hearsay, and we can't, unless you want to bring those people in and they want to be as a witness. If you have some friends, some like New York assholes who go, yeah, I pay off hookers and shit all the time. Yeah, okay, like, I don't know, I never write it off my taxes like this fucking prick, but I do it all the time. You want to bring those guys in, if they want to throw themselves under the bus in front of their wives and God and whoever the fuck else, fine. But I doubt it, which means the only real answer is either Alan Weisselberg knows how many women have been paid off, and he will have to answer, it's been 12 or 7 or 35 in the last 40 fucking years. And it happened during this one and this one, and the only ones that matter are the ones that violate the prenup he has with Melania, where she just now gets fucking everything, or what's left of everything, which is another conversation and a whole fucking can of worms. But his attorney opened up that line of questioning. And then it goes to, well, has he written those payments off in the past as other shit? And that's a financial crime on top of that. That's the problem he runs into. Because again, Trump is not worried, for the most part, with the exception, like in the classified documents thing, that's a fucking panic. That's going to be huge. But this, he doesn't know what they're ultimately after, and he knows he's shuffled money around dozens of fucking times. And he doesn't think they know about some of them, and he's afraid they're going to find out. Mr. Bojangles, thank you so much. He said the name Bojangles and danced a lick across the cell and said, hey, Tiny, how does it feel to be indicated? That's really sweet. Stacy and William, thank you so much for the super chats as well.
They go
Robert,
forward.
thank you. And yet they go forward. And it's like, you know, I get to stare down the barrel of having a conversation with Kimberly about why she's being called as a witness about people that he's paid hush money to say they didn't fuck him. And that's awkward. It's just going to make Easter really weird.
So let's be very clear, because
Yeah, unlike your eyes.
there are a couple Republicans, people who have proven themselves to be rhinos while, trying to wear the MAGA cap.
MAGA? Oh. Isn't it MAGA? MAGA. Oh. Ew. Ew, MAGA. Oh, pardon me, mate. I'll be in the drawing room playing the grand piano with MAGA.
Let's be clear.
Someone call Gorka. Gorka. He's definitely the guy defining MAGA.
Here, for those people who...
Plasma. That's right. MAGA, plasma, Gorka. These assholes want to... They're so desperately aware that they're nouveau riche dickheads.
Said, it's not real. Trump's making it up.
This could apply to anything. You mean his wealth, his stature, his knowledge, his vocabulary, his healthcare plan, his infrastructure plan, his actual candidacy? What can you narrow it for us?
It's not a real issue for us. If you don't think that the weaponization of the entire federal government against...
It's a state charge. You just told us the feds passed on it. So
their political enemies.
enemas. I think it's pronounced enemas.
Against the voters, half of the country.
Half of the country. Yeah, no, just him, actually. I don't know if you've noticed. They only indicted your dad. There were not, he did not have 75 million unindicted co-conspirators. Honestly. And unless they want to go after who gave him the campaign funds. But supposedly that was his own money.
Approximately. As we've seen. If you don't think that's a problem, you don't even belong in any position in government, let alone president.
What if I don't believe your dad belongs in any position of government, let alone president? And I'm right, he doesn't. Who gives a shit?
You know, I get you can have your sound bites and you can do your nonsense.
Thanks. I appreciate it. I'm going to. You can't stop me. But it's nice to know that you don't, that you've moved on.
And pretend you're doing great and hire your influencers. But if you don't think that's...
Excuse me? Hire your influencers? Excuse me. Some of us can self-influence, you lazy third-gen rich asshole.
It's an issue. Guess what? Just wait till they come for you.
Yes. Ryan knows what you gonna do, when they come for you. Ryan knows. Well, you know what they're gonna do? I'm sorry, you're looking for the Trumps. They're 3 houses down. Yes.
Because they will.
Sure, yeah. If you use campaign funds to pay off porn stars and playmates to keep quiet during a campaign, and you try to manipulate the election after the fact using the powers of the presidency to put pressure on the Georgia governor and the lieutenant governor and the secretary of state to control that. And if you keep classified documents that you clearly did not declassify while you were in office, or copies would be available on the fucking web.
We're in a battle for our existence. And this
our existence. And by we, he means the Trumps.
Entire case hinges on unreliable, discredited witnesses like Stormy Daniels, who I believe owes my father a couple $100,000 in legal fees because they lost. It hinged on disgraced, jailed,
best friend of my dad, my godfather, Michael Cohen.
Disbarred clown lawyer Michael Cohen, along with a really shaky and murky legal theory surrounding campaign.
Now, what about, and I know that I'm nitpicking here, the checks and the ledgers and the actual money that went from here to there to there to here and here to there and back again. That's where that would be, because how it's characterized by other people is not as important as the money went from here to here, and then his money went from here to here to cover here to here to cover the money that went from here to here, and he said so. And what about that part? No, it's a matter of opinion.
Campaign finance law. Again, that the people who actually look at campaign finance law, like the feds, they didn't even look at it.
Well, shit, then I think they should look at it now. Thanks for bringing that up. Who do we call? Oh, hold on one second. Hi, yeah, Federal Election Commission, please? Yeah, just patch me straight through. It's a red phone, it picks straight up. It's black, but I spray painted it because it looks cooler. Yeah, it's me again. Don Jr. said that you guys look at election law. Yeah, you do. Okay, good. Did you look at Trump's violation of You didn't. But you're going to. I'm sorry, I can't hear you over the laughing and the clinking of the champagne glasses. I see. Okay. Bigger fish to fry. He did what? Russian funds to Truth Social. That, how much? That's a lot. Well, I'm just saying, that's not necessarily, I know, it isn't necessarily what you guys do, but you're just having a day. Oh, okay, yeah. It's kind of a national holiday. You're right. Tomorrow? Promise? Promise. Okay. All right. I'm going to call back. All right, bye. Love you too.
A state district attorney has no business prosecuting a federal campaign violation, but that doesn't matter.
No, of course not. It doesn't matter. What matters is it's a crime and your dad committed it. That's really what matters, right? Because law and order.
Who cares, guys? The law doesn't really matter if you...
The law doesn't really matter if my dad violates it. If it's you guys, fuck you. I don't care. But that...
You can weaponize it against conservatives. If you can weaponize it against people who are going to take on the swamp.
Yeah, and by the way, stop laughing. He totally is going to take on the swamp next time. He just didn't... Look... I know what he had 4 years to take on the swamp, and he brought in people from Exxon to be energy secretary, and Wilbur Ross or Bank of Cyrus, and you made it more swampy, but that was just a rope-a-dope. That was to make the swamp let down their guard, to feel comfortable and go, wow, it's pretty swampy around here, and so that they could, they'll be even more swampy, and then it would be easy to go, aha, you're an alligator, and he just ran out of time because he had to golf. So, you watch out, swamp. Next 4-year term, it's gonna happen. It's the shit. It's gonna...
Notice they don't do this to the Biden administration.
Right, because Biden hasn't paid off a porn star with campaign funds. It is, I know I'm nitpicking, I recognize.
To the Biden family. Or to the Clintons, or...
Whitewater? Anyone? What do you mean, to the Clintons? Motherfucker, you assholes think they've run a kill list for decades. Bonnie, thank you so much. Nice Newhart phone bit. Thank you. Thanks very much for aging both you and me, Bonnie. We're both kind of... Hold on one second. What? Yes, I know. Yeah. Yes, Bonnie let the cat out of the bag. Yes, she knows that a fifth of the audience doesn't even know what I'm holding up to my head. They think it's a prop in an old film. Yes, I know that. I love you too. Okay, bye. That was Bob, the ghost of Bob Newhart's brother.
To any one of the corrupt Democrats out there that have made millions and probably billions.
Something you would know nothing about.
Where there's smoke like you wouldn't believe.
You're right, I don't believe there's smoke. I believe there's smoke at your house quite a bit. I think smoke is how you take the edge off the snort. But that's my own personal opinion.
It's not even a story. That's Russian disinformation. Backed up by mainstream media, by big tech, by people...
As opposed to Truth Social, which is little bitty tech. Wee tech.
People from the intelligence community who know...
Uh-oh, little bunny fuck you has made an appearance.
When they lie to you, when they lie to your face, there's no consequence.
None.
There's no nothing.
There's no nothing. Nothing. What do you do? What do you do when there's you're just a constant victim and they won't let you alone and they go after you all the time, and all you're trying to do is just try and get your dad to just come to one baseball game, just one.
Now, if it was the other way and you talk about the Biden administration, oh, you can't possibly do that. No.
Well, you can't, because he didn't use campaign funds to pay off a porn star to keep quiet so they could court evangelicals. Because he's a widower who remarried and has a happy marriage. You cretin.
Only Trump.
Well, I mean, your dad is an extraordinary case. He is extraordinarily gross.
So this is weaponized justice at its absolute worst. Okay?
Weaponized justice at its worst would be bad at it. If this is them weaponizing justice, I think they're doing a fine job.
I've thought America was going on a downhill slope for quite
some time. Believe me, when your dad was elected, we thought the same thing.
some time, and that's why my father got in this game, to fight back for the American people. When I see this, and when I see the weak-kneed Republican response of, it's not really an issue, yeah, because it's not on you yet, but it will be. They've made...
I love how, the big one is like, most of them are like, well, now the cat's out of the bag and we're going to indict presidents and this is going to be a never-ending tit for tat and blah, blah, blah. And instead of them going, we're going after the Democrats, we'll show you how corrupt they are, this asshole is like, the rhinos are next.
Made that very clear. Look at what we saw just today. The QAnon shaman released.
Yes, on schedule. His attorney said, yeah, they were scheduled. You get this amount of time, but on good behavior, we're looking at spring. The transition's right on schedule. And these assholes, by the way, want you to think it's because of the Tucker Carlson footage. It ain't.
Released 14 months early after spending 2 years in jail.
Right, pretty normal.
Unnecessarily.
No, necessarily. Definitely necessarily.
Because
he pled guilty.
The Democrats wouldn't release the exculpatory video that...
There is no exculpatory video. Being shadowed by police officers while you're trespassing, waiting to see if you do anything violent or moo as you take a shit in the rotunda is not exculpatory evidence.
Got him out of jail now.
No. As a matter of fact, if I may. Let's see. Okay. But yeah. So this is according to Chansley's attorney, and I quote, try and follow along, Junior. I told him 16 months ago in our first conversation it would be February or March 2023. Chansley's attorney, Bill Shipley, tweeted on Thursday morning. BOP, Federal Bureau of Prisons, math. I didn't do anything extraordinary. This was always the schedule. I just understood it and could explain it to him. Chansley is among at least 1,000 people that have been charged. So this is, this is this guy. For the record, Jake is out on schedule. This is what I'll retweet it right now. Ta fucking da. Sorry, it always wants to make ta into ya. I don't know why. Yeah. Bureau of Prisons math, meaning you get sentenced to 46 months, you'll probably do half the time, and then they'll transition you out. These guys want credit, la-di-da.
The guy did almost 3 years in jail for a nonviolent offense.
No, it is not nonviolent if a cop is beaten so that you can trespass. Once you step over the threshold of a place that you got into because someone else committed an act of violence, you are a participant in that violence. Fuck you.
And then it was shown that he was essentially escorted around the building.
No, it wasn't.
Can't show that video. Can't give that to him.
Oh, yeah, sure you can. Just when you do, I would request, and I'd call me crazy, to timestamp it and make sure that the clips are in order. What, you can't do that because it makes him look worse? So
that would get him out of it. Because that would actually clear everyone else who's been in jail.
No, actually, it would get some of them more time.
We had Joe McBride on here 2 weeks ago talking about just that. A lawyer who represents some of these jailed peaceful defendants.
Uh-huh. Does anyone believe, and I know this is a side note from the indictment of Donald Trump, does anyone believe that these guys would believe that if a cop was beaten near to death at guarding a target during the BLM riots, that the people who went in and stole after stepping over the unconscious body of that cop weren't participants in the violence of that day? That's just shoplifting. They should get a normal shoplifting. 34 counts? Oh, shit. DeSantis, 34 counts? Get the fuck, hold on. Woohoo! Give me a second. 34 counts. I should just be able to Google that. 34 34 counts related to falsifying business records. That's a lot. That's a whole lot. That's a lot of bunch. John Miller tells Aaron Burnett that his sources say Trump charges are 34 counts related to falsifying business records. Oh, lordy, lordy, lordy. Hold on one second. I'm going to try and find it on a... This is so good. It's just so much fun. 34 fucking counts is rumored by John Miller. Not sure it's news. Okay, good. Weisselberg flipped. Yeah, that's what I think too. That's why it's a felony, right? Trump 2034. Is that when he's supposed to get out, Dennis? Hold on. I'm going to open this guy up real quick. See if we go to I'm sure that it'll say on Twitter like 34 counts. Oh, okay. So 1 second. First of all, a lot of fun. First of all, I stand with President Trump is trending, which is hilarious and hilarity. And then this is how bad it is for Trump world. There you go. Trump for prison is number 2. Triggered because Don Jr.'s flipping out there. Woohoo! I'm guessing the woohoo is people excited about Trump being indicted. I stand with Trump. Trending with president and no one is above the law. Breaking news, Article 4. That's search and seizure, I guess, is where we're going. The readout, Michael Cohen, rule of law, president in 2024. Trump is going to be president in 2024. It's only going to blah, blah, blah. Okay, so I want to see what the woohoos are first, if you don't mind, if I'm either. Woohoo, we've unlocked. Okay, sorry. Woohoo, I'm so happy I'm wrong. There you go. Woohoo, indictment. Yeah, that's what everybody's doing. Woohoo. Just like a bunch. Oh, dear God. Oh, boy. All right, so I stand with President Trump is happening. Of course, the latest. This is going to be all maggots like, leave him alone. Leave him alone. The left is... I stand with President Trump. The left is terrified, says Gaddafi. All right. All right. With friends like these, I stand with Trump. Of course you do. Where have these thumbs been? Matt Gates always fought for us. He puts blah, blah, blah. I stand. Tell us if you stand with President Trump. I will always stand with President Trump. Here's President Trump is saying, "Doing." These are both these thumbs have. This one's been in my butt, and this one's been in Putin's butt. I stand with President Trump. What is a goose stepping owl? What the fuck is that? Statement by Donald Trump. There it is. This is his statement. This is political persecution and election interference at the highest level in history. From the time I came down the golden escalator Trump Tower, even before I was sworn in as your president of the United States, the radical left Democrats, the enemy of hardworking men and women of this country, have been engaged in a witch hunt to destroy the Make America Great Again movement. You remember it just like I do. Russia, at the Mueller, Hoser, great, Peach Rogues 1, Peach Rogues 2, the illegal and unconstitutional Mar-a-Lago raid, and now this. The Democrats have lied, cheated, stolen their obsession to get Trump, and now they've done the unthinkable. Why is this in quotes? Done the unthinkable, indicting a complete innocent person in an act of blatant election interference. Never before in our nation's history has this been done. The Democrats have cheated countless times over the decades, including spying on my campaign, but weaponizing our justice system to punish a political opponent who just happens to be the president of the United States and by far the leading Republican. A former president? I think he just took out former because he was mad. He did. For president has never happened before, ever. Manhattan DA Alvin Bragg, who was handpicked and funded by George Soros, is a disgrace. Rather than stopping the unprecedented crime wave taking over New York City, he's doing Joe Biden's dirty work and ignoring the murders and burglaries and assaults and he should be focusing on. This is how Bragg spends his time. I believe this witch hunt will backfire massively on Joe Biden. The American people realize exactly what the radical left Democrats are doing here. Everyone can see it. So our movement and our party, united and strong will act to defeat Alvin Bragg, and then we will defeat Joe Biden, and then we are going to throw every last one of these crooked Democrats out of so we can make America again. Statement from the 45th President of the United States. Ah, so good. Okay, woohoo is okay. Breaking news is indicted. It's a big deal. This is historic. Congrats, Russia. You sure can pick them. Grand jury votes to indict Donald Trump in hush money case. Phoenix teacher arrested today. Oh, not a drag queen. There you go. Yep. CNN reports historic breaking news. Former President Trump has been indicted in Manhattan grand jury. Let's hear from both sides.
Major breaking news, indeed historic breaking news right now. CNN's Kara Scannell is in New York for us covering this story.
Why does Wolf look so scared?
What are you learning, Kara?
Well, Wolf, 3 sources tell me, and my colleague John Miller, that a Manhattan grand jury
No masturbating while this is being read. I know you're excited, but calm down.
has indicted
Mark,
former
oh my
President
gosh.
Donald Trump in connection with the hush money payment scheme.
Yeah, like Mark Kremer put his jersey number in school sports was 34. I think that ended up being a magic spell. Clearly, Mark, you run the simulation. Be kind to all of us.
This indictment is under seal, according to sources, and the exact charges are not yet known at this time. But
oh, that's going to be a story. Oh, it's going to be a story. Oh, they're going to read them, and then we're going to talk about them. It's going to be that. Right.
This investigation has been going on for a long time. The decision to move and seek and get an indictment of a former president is the first time that has been done in U.S. history. This
we
can
know.
have a significant impact on the presidential campaign. But as I said, we do not know the exact charges yet. We expect those charges to be made public in the coming days, and it's
Oh, yes, as do we.
at some point in the near future, former President Trump will have to come to this courthouse and be arraigned. Wolf?
Oh, it's going to be a mugshot. There's going to be fingerprints. There's going to be, oh, God, it's so funny. Let's see, Article 4. Why are people working about Article 4? Oh, because he won't help with the extradition. Person charged in any state with treason, felony, or other crime shall flee, who shall flee from justice found in another state, shall on demand of the executive authority. Okay, so it has to be treason, felony, or other crime, shall flee from justice. Shall on demand of the executive authority of the state which he fled to be delivered to. Oh, I see. So the state has to say whatever. Weaponization, legal system, this is un-American. Yeah. And by the and no one is more excited. Junior's, is this because Don Junior's flipping out? Yeah. We're now 15 minutes into Junior whining about the indictment here, and I'm still bored. This is like communist level shit. That's not a good. That screen looks bad. I'm just saying. Yeah. He was his dad set him up to run the fucking company while he was in office and made him sign everything. Everybody's bitching Michael Cohen. Statement from Michael Cohen. I take no pride in issuing a statement which would remind her of the presumption of innocence, provide due process. However, I do take solace and validate the adage that no one is above the law. That's probably where that phrase came from, or no one is above the law. Good times. Hi, chat room. Oh, boy. Of course the accounts can be that high. Junior was crying. He ran out of Coke. Is that the only reason he was crying, you think? All right, so here we go. Let's go back to his whining.
Now, they'll spend time in jail, but, if you burn down a building...
Yeah, there we go.
If you kill David Dorn,
I'm hold on. David Dorn's killer went to jail, right? Hold on. If you kill David Dorn, nobody really is gonna check this shit out. I just nobody's like, if you kill David Dorn, you're gonna man convicted in David Dorn's death, sentenced to life.
Now, it's in the name of social justice. It doesn't really matter.
He's doing life in prison. And by the way, you can tell that these assholes just stop paying attention to the news. Oh my gosh, Cynthia, thank you so much for the super chat. Lovely, thank you so much.
Different. So if you don't think that this is the weaponization of justice...
I don't. And by the way, nor do I think there was the weaponization of justice in the convicting of what the fuck is the dude's name? Stephen Cannon, who killed David Dorn. I don't think that was the weaponization of justice. I think that motherfucker got exactly what he deserved.
If you don't think that there's a two-tiered system of justice,
you wish there was,
depending on which side of the political spectrum you're on.
Yeah, he used to think that there was a two-tiered legal system based on money. He was hoping, your dad is hoping for the OJ rule. Rich and famous wins the day. That's what he's been hoping for. Like, that made rich people feel very comfortable, the OJ verdict. And then, like, I think there was a little bit like around Martha Stewart, they were like, oh, fuck, again.
You haven't been watching.
No, I don't watch your show regularly. I mean, it's really long and boring.
So again, this is me getting this information a few minutes ago.
Yeah, we can tell you were unprepared. By the way, I don't know why. Honest to God, I have to say, if I even suspected that my father was going to be indicted on charges like this, especially if he'd been fucking around on my mom, or my stepmom, I guess, I would have a prepared statement ready just in case, as a grown-up who loves my dad. And who's, I mean, that might be it. I think that's the flaw in the whole, I get it. All right. See, I love my dad, and my dad actually loves me. So I'm seeing this whole thing through that lens. I can't feel your pain if you have any at all.
But if you're an American.
I am indeed an American.
Not a Republican or a Democrat.
Well, there are Americans that are both.
And you don't see this for what it is.
What it is? What it is.
And you're not outraged about.
Oh, outrageous. Oh, outrage. I'm supposed to be outraged. We're supposed to be outraged. That means it's true. There you go. Outrageous.
The insanity.
Midas Touch says 34 indictments. That's the number they got too.
If you don't see this as sort of, the trumped up, pardon the pun.
It's an irony, not a pun, stupid.
Charges to try to do whatever damage you can to your political enemies, then
if I may,
you haven't been watching. And if you're
how many times did he say we haven't been watching? Haven't been watching what, motherfucker? You know what I've watched? You know what I've watched? I've watched that fucking video and the multitude of gifs that have come from it of your dad partying with Jeffrey Epstein. That's what I've watched. I've watched your dad brag about sexually assaulting women and then denigrating the women he sexually assaulted after the fucking fact. That's what I've watched. I've been watching this dumb motherfucker for decades. New Yorkers have been watching this motherfucker for decades dodge every possible consequence of his illegal activities. We've all been watching it, you dumb son of a bitch. And what I think is the issue is that he's been watching it too, that Don Jr. has seen all this shit as well. But he's either gotten used to the idea that it was never going to amount to anything, or was just dreading the day that it would, and was just always brimming at anger at other people over the fact that one day they're going to come for my fucking dad because he's such a dick.
Conservative, having seen everything we've seen transpire over.
Yeah, you mean your dad clearly being indictable under the Mueller investigation, but Bill Barr running interference and making sure that Mueller couldn't look into his finances at the time while your dad hid his taxes, claiming they were under audit, when in reality he was just fighting a $74 million tax refund that he did not earn.
For the last 6 or 7 years. And you
Well, yeah, that is unfair, because your dad's been full of shit since the 70s.
still believe the nonsense. And you haven't been totally jaded by the media, by big tech, by the lies, by the Democrat Party.
By the song Jaded by Aerosmith.
Then I don't know what to tell you.
That's true, you don't. You do not know what to tell me, because the truth is just going to be worse for you, and I don't buy your bullshit. So, yeah, you painted yourself into an idiot corner.
I don't know what to tell you because you haven't been watching or
What have we not been? Oh, yes, we haven't been watching again. Are you not watching? Guys, have you been watching? They were watching?
you're stupid. Honestly,
The Central Park Five put out a statement to Trump. Did they please tell me they bought a full-page ad in the New York Times?
you don't see it for what it is, at this point, I have no other response other than, man, you need a better education. Or
Yeah, what the fuck is wrong with you, audience of Triggered?
you've been brainwashed by the radical left, the same people.
He's talking... Who the fuck does he think watches this shit?
People that tell you that it was the shooter this weekend and its community that was the victim, not the 6 young
Yeah, nobody said that.
Christians
Yeah, nobody said that.
murdered in cold blood by a trans sociopath, fed every excuse, boosted by that same radical media and big tech, who, God forbid, you.
Also, again, what the fuck? Nobody is... I mean, they have to tell this story. So, Lizzie Dog, thank you, 34. Happy Thick Thigh 34 Indictments Thursday. Glad to share this special day with y'all. Thank you for all you do. Oh, thanks very much, Lizzie Dog. And thank you guys for all the support and being with me through the show. Because I know when I started this thing, we were, I had my little fledgling station with 3,000 subscribers. And I just got on here to try to cheer everybody up when everybody thought the world was going to end. And everywhere along the way, people are like, I don't think it's going to, oh no, it's going to be, oh, the terrible. And I'm like, trust me, it's going to be all right. It's going to life takes its own time, but we'll be all right. And when there is tough stuff, we'll get through it. And when things go our way, we will enjoy it. It's going to be all right. And the people, these fuckers are just never thought that they would catch the same shit for doing the shit they do that other people do. This isn't even about like innocent average Americans. These motherfuckers think that they should and deserve to get away with stuff.
Say something against them, you'll be canceled. We gotta kowtow to every whim and every desire.
Again, he doesn't know what the fuck he's talking about. Is it like somehow he's trying to he's trying to do a whataboutism with a school shooter. The single school shooter that I'm aware of that identified as trans temporarily, by the way, they still go by her female name, not a male name, because there's no indication that was even true, that they were just kind of fucking around with gender identity and that kind of stuff as a point to fuck with their parents who sent them to a Christian academy. There's no indication that was a full-fledged, that they were truly trans or any of that kind of stuff. But even if they were, you want to talk about like percentages, averages? This motherfucker, his dad had his campaign in Waco to show sympathy for the Branch Davidians and David Koresh, that kid fucker who was stockpiling weapons to kill police officers and soldiers at some point as the army of fucking God. And his biggest fan, who was there in Waco selling anti-government bumper stickers, Timothy McVeigh, who murdered dozens of children at the Oklahoma City building when he bombed the fucking place. That's like, if there's a big fucking chalkboard with an us and them, and they're considering this like that Audrey, the shooter at this school, one of us, which I do not sign on to. Fuck you. I'm sorry. I think you lose your Democrat kind of lefty label card when you're stockpiling guns and ammo for the murder of innocent people. I don't care what your fucking reasoning is. Clearly, I'm just gonna guess you don't give a fuck about health care. Know what I mean? Or the free public education, or SNAP payments, or a higher tax bracket for the investor class, right? I think you just think murder is an answer, which I think is in many ways, this motherfucker has a lot more people on his side of the chalkboard that believe that shit, including David Koresh, where his dad chose to have his his rally last weekend, and Timothy McVeigh, who was fanboying that shit when it went down.
Someone who's been turned into a freak show by getting jacked up with testosterone and meds in their youth before they could probably make these decisions. No, this is going
to... Yeah, none of that. So the idea is that this was roid rage from transition surgery? Really?
Be a wonderful result, folks. It's going to keep getting better. It's not.
Oh, I thought for a second he meant that was the better part, and it's not.
It's only going to get worse until we say enough is enough.
Which means what? Take up arms and shoot up a school, a trans community school? Like, what the fuck does that even mean? Again, can I just say, fuck you to everybody who uses the phrase or the term or like on the regular. It slips out with everybody, but on the regular, we need a fighter in Congress, and we'll fight for you and fight when you're talking about democratic taxation and the conversation therein about programs. Fuck you and your fighty bullshit.
Until we call out this nonsense, until
the nonsense, the guys at the nonsense,
we all become unafraid to speak up against these injustices.
These injustices. You mean your dad not being charged, it taking this fucking long to go after him? I think that is an injustice, but, I'm willing to take the W when it comes.
That's all it is. Again, when even the radical lunatics at the Amazon/Bezos Washington Post.
Right, yes, that Amazon, the one with the strongest union record of any giant corporation, the guy who gave away half of his fortune for oh no, that was his ex-wife.
Are saying, I don't know, this is kind of sketchy.
Is that what they're saying? I mean, I know you're paraphrasing. Guys. You haven't been the nonsense and following along. And, at radical... booger sugar.
When the Republicans like Ron DeSantis say, well, this isn't a real issue, really? Just wait, Ron.
Just wait, Ron. It's coming for you. Wait till my dad gets in office and he decides to have our gulag. You just wait, Ron. More booger sugar.
One day you may be the man. The way you've handled the last couple weeks, I actually hope not, unfortunately. And I had pretty solid aspirations for you. I thought it was going somewhere. But if you can't figure
You did?
Figure out that this is a real problem, if you think it's trumped up, as you've said very clearly, as you flip-flop on things like getting in or out of the war in Ukraine.
By the way, can we just enjoy the fact that in this circumstance where his father has been indicted in New York for paying a porn star, his biggest gripe so far, besides his little cul-de-sac into anti-trans hatred and psychosis, is to shit on rhinos and Ron DeSantis. Cool. Oh, thanks, Cover Me, for gifting the sub. Appreciate it. And Shadow Woman, Nika Crinkles, and Francie, thank you so much.
Because your donors tell you what to do?
Mm-hmm.
Guys, if you're one of those Republicans...
Guys.
We don't need you. We had our Jeb Bushes. We've had our Liz Cheneys.
Have you?
We've listened to the Karl Roves get us into the endless wars. We don't need that again.
You're right. We have Joe Biden. We don't even need a Republican Party anymore, I think. So bye. Have fun in Russia, or wherever the fuck you guys are going to move when your dad decides to go on a vacation between indictment and sentencing. Or between being found guilty and
remember,
sentencing.
folks, I'll probably end up doing a special on this on the weekend. Like I said,
it will be special. Very, very special. It's going to be special. By the way, I have to say, tomorrow morning's show, I don't normally do clips, but I have a feeling we're going to have so many fucking clips with people flipping out about this shit that I'm just going to have to do double time tomorrow, just for the record.
I found out about this about 15 minutes.
Yes, I haven't had time to even think about my father being indicted on shit that he admitted to 7 years ago.
Before I went live, I was literally getting in my car to drive to an event for Joe Kent when like my phone starts blowing up.
Oh, so you blew off the charity thing to bitch about your dad? Why don't you just fucking put a tweet out and do the special this weekend, you lazy bastard?
I'm like, oh crap. So
I'm like, oh crap. Yeah, that's pretty much what Oh, their dad's been indicted on 34 charges. First president, former president ever be indicted. Oh crap. That's a humdinger. Shucks.
I don't even know
where I'm going to get enough weed and blow to carve the edge off of this anxiety.
what it means yet. I know what it means.
I don't even know what it means yet. But don't think that'll stop me from talking about it as if I do.
You know, same old thing. They got him now, and they'll do this, and they'll get their show trial or whatever, or at least the show perp walk, or that's what they'll try.
That's what they'll try. The show perp walk. Oh, it'll be a show, all right. Now, your dad could quietly do it, enter in through a side gate and do it in secret and go through the process. But the idea, can you imagine do you have any idea? The police officer, when he is fingerprinted, who's just like on duty that day, they're in processing, and they just do this during the entire processing, they could fucking retire on that footage. I'm telling you. First American president ever to be indicted, and they're just like, I'm waiting for a call from my mom. Sure you're not recording? Of course not. Can you just the fucking flop sweat and the teeth grinding and the fucking the butthole mouth that he was doing on Sean Hannity, and the fucking and his teensy tiny little fingerprints. People go, you sure this isn't from his birth certificate? What the fuck?
You know, they'll raise countless dollars from the communists in New York City. And
how did the communists get so rich? Countless dollars. Because you can't count commie dollars, I think, right?
California, because they're doing what's right. Because, remember, they want democracy. Yeah, this doesn't exactly look like democracy, but
it looks precisely like democracy. Literally, the thing that separates us from a third world country is that our former leaders could get indicted if they commit a crime because they're a citizen like anybody else. We shouldn't have two-tier justice system based on the rich and the powerful and everybody else. And we have had in many cases, and Trump benefited from the fact that it did exist in New York for a long time.
But it doesn't matter, right?
And by the way, hold on 1 second. Let me wait till this goes full.
That's just a soundbite for
it is
complete and total capitulation. They
Thank you, Christina.
They love you and your opinion if it's exactly what they tell you it is.
Yeah, Trump's really being indicted for having different opinions. It's thought police. Which it kind of is, guys, it's kind of like thought police. Like, he thought he was going to get away with it. Booger sugar.
Now, if you deviate a little bit.
You deviant. You mean into deviant behavior?
If you deviate a little bit.
A little bit.
Then you're canceled. By the way.
Then you're canceled. Is that what you think is happening? This is just like the weaponization of cancel culture?
Talking about the trans issue. Look at what they did to Martina Navratilova, who was like a gay icon before it was cool. Someone who fought for gay and lesbian rights.
Because, by the way, when I say stuff that I'm uncomfortable saying, I get really nasally. It just happens.
Or that made you, immune to criticism. And when she came out a couple of years ago and said, hey, man, I don't think there should be biological men in women's sports, as one of the most accomplished women athlete ever, The community canceled her.
They canceled her, just like they're canceling my father. Because just like you shouldn't have biological men, guys, in women's sports, you can't have, apparently, fake billionaires getting loans they weren't entitled to and falsifying business records around those loans mixed with hush payments during a campaign to a porn star. I guess if he was a real billionaire, it'd be okay and he would be canceled.
They went after her. 30 years.
Booger sugar.
Of fighting for their rights meant nothing anymore. They only accept total surrender.
Uh-huh.
We can't go for it anymore, guys. So
We can't go for it. No can do. I can't go for that. Can't go for that. No can do.
I'm going to go make some phone calls. I'm
I'm going to go cry and see if my father finally returns my call. If he's hit rock bottom, he might actually pick up.
going to look into this further.
But, you know, just because I'm talking out of my ass doesn't mean the special this weekend. I'm going to skim some articles about it, make some rather broad assumptions, listen to my dad bitch for a little while until it goes on and on, set the phone on the counter, go take a shit, come back, he'll still be talking, and then tell you he said something he didn't say that someone else said.
I'm going to see, what exactly it means. And,
I'm going to go see what exactly it means. I'm glad we came to the one known authority.
talk to the team. Maybe we'll have to do
The team.
a special over the weekend. I just, I don't have much more to say other than the insanity of what it is. The weak-kneed response from so many Republicans, especially those that, have done a really good job of paying influencers to make them seem really MAGA.
I don't know what the fuck that is. You guys know what the fuck he's talking about? Paying influencers to seem MAGA? Is there something going on with Silk? Is Silk being, or the Hodge twins, are they being paid to like Ron DeSantis? I think that maybe that's what he's talking about. That some of the Magats are leaning DeSantis's way, and so the idea is that DeSantis's campaign is paying those people to pretend they like him. That probably is what he's talking about, but who can... Booger sugar. The kidney.
Hey, I get it. Unfortunately, that's the game. And
It is, it's totally. And you got to play the game if you're going to lose.
that's what it is for them.
And my dad's a loser, and you can't lose if you don't play the game.
They don't really care about these things. They care about what their donors ultimately tell them because that's where they get their money that allows them to continue and perpetuate their careers. That's why they
But enough about Trump Tower Moscow.
hate Trump, because Trump doesn't really need them. It's why
Kind of
they
does.
pulled
They
all
pulled.
the stops to go after Trump.
You pull out all the stops. You don't pull the stops. The stops, you pull, there are stops, and then you pull the stops out. So you pull out all the stops. You don't pull the stops. I'm sorry.
For 6 years. I know a little bit about it myself because they did the same to me.
Did they? They pulled out all the stops, did they? And that's why you're wearing one of Eric's shirts?
And it's never going to end, folks.
It's not going to end, folks, until I and my father and everyone around us just admit what we've done wrong and turn ourselves in and throw ourselves in front of the mercy of the court and say that the rule of law in America is important and we shouldn't have two systems of justice. I'm fucking with you. Never happened.
Until we say enough is enough. Again, until we become unafraid.
Unafraid. To what? I mean, this sounds like Junior's audition tape to play David Koresh, and they were like, pass.
To speak out. They have spent probably trillions putting you in your place.
No, I actually, the patrons are no slouch, and the super chats are wonderful or whatever. But I mean, we shoestring it here. I feel I am in my place. I feel like I'm at home with everyone in the chat room, and we have a great time. I really do. But I'm not getting any Soros checks anytime soon. I'm just saying. And I think I would be a candidate, but I don't know why. Wait, why did it stop playing? Hold on. Why'd you stop being it, Dave?
They hate your guts.
Well, not just my guts, obviously.
They despise you if you're a patriotic American.
I am a patriotic American. Huh. Who's the they he's talking about? Oh, maggots, I guess, is what he's talking about.
With traditional American values.
For example, your dad's 3 wives and the porn star stuff. You mean that? Or are we talking about 1 Corinthians or 2 Corinthians walking into a bar?
They want to weaponize anything against
Yes, absolutely. The Department of Dildos, it's the DOD.
you, the vast majority of Americans.
Well, I'm not that big. I weigh $165. I'm no slouch, but
Mean nothing compared to some radical, insane, but heavily funded, boosted group that make up a tiny fraction of the population.
he means trans people. You're worth nothing. Trans people control the world. We are all the victims of Circeus or whatever, the villain in the 300.
Guys, what we
The giant gay Egyptian
saw
pharaoh.
this weekend, it's all part of the same sick and disgusting
Nonsense.
trend. So I'm going to go dissect a little bit more of this. Watch the rest of the interview. You're going to want to see my take
No, I'm really not.
again on the shooting. You're going to want to hear from Joe Kent, one of the few guys that really gets what's going on.
He totally gets what's going on. He's going on.
We're going on an hour, and you're boring the fuck out of me already. So hour and a half. So, by the way, you're watching Hal Sparks Megaworldwide. I think we're kind of done with his shit, if I do say so my damn self. I'm going to try, and there's been a bunch of, and that was on Rumble. Yeah, it was. So, there are a bunch of. Let's see. Let's take the pulse. Trump indicted. I won't put indicated because there you go. Benny Johnson's flipping out about it, of course. Trump Jr. There you go. Little talk show, Real America. Danny Ball. Oh, Danny Ball. Here comes Danny Balls. From the Walkaway campaign.
Our first guest this evening is the
what that
founder
was.
of the Walkaway movement, Brandon Strzok. He knows all too well what happens when you do anything that the left does not like in this country because
he's been indicted for paying hush money to a porn star, and his wife left him, and now he lives in a Days Inn outside of Little Rock, Arkansas.
he showed up on January 6th to have his voice heard,
He just showed up. He just showed up to have his voice heard, guys.
and then he was sent to jail and forced into a plea deal, otherwise facing years in prison for being an insurrectionist, which he was not.
Well, then why did he cop to the plea deal? Why did he take the plea deal then? If he wasn't, why didn't he fight? Why didn't he trust that Trump would break him out?
Brandon, thank you. Welcome back to the program. You've seen the videos.
Brandon, I know this, the camera's right there, but you're looking at the television monitor in your hotel room, which you piped this into. Brandon, yeah?
We'll get to the indictment in a minute, but I want to go to
I hope so.
these insurrections. You've seen the videos, and folks, you know what I'm talking about. We're going to show them to you. Today in Tennessee, radical anti-gun folks turned up and stormed the Capitol, pushed past guards, knocked down state troopers, and took over the proceedings. Yesterday, trans folks did it down in Kentucky, and earlier this weekend, Monday, more trans folks did it at the Texas Capitol. We've got video to back them all up. As we roll those, Brandon, I just want to get your take on these new acts of insurrection, because to what I was
Acts of insurrection. Yeah, they're not actually interrupting the function, the structure of government. They are protesting for legislation.
told, and I'm sure you were told, busting into a government building and stopping a government proceedings, that's the definition of an insurrection, right?
No, because you would have to have a candidate or someone with you that you were trying to install or stop the someone else from being in office, like either an insurrection, a coup that would kill the leader, not giving a shit who replaces them, or insisting on their replacement and working on that person's behalf. That would be the insurrection part. This is about legislation.
That's what we were told. Yeah.
No, it wasn't. You were mistaken. And that's why you're a stupid person. Okay. Lady in a wheelchair. Okay, so let's see what he says
whether
about
you
that.
don't think the election was stolen, or if you think people are stupid who think the election is stolen. It doesn't change the fact that the people who were protesting on January 6th did in fact believe that their vote was being stolen and that the election was fraudulent. And
so what? The remedy to that would not and could not come in the form they sought. They believed that the election should have gone another way, or that it was being stolen, and that they had the right to overthrow the government on behalf of their candidate. They don't.
that we were basically living in a system where our elections were
By the way, being a gullible, violent asshole is not a defense.
being compromised, and they wanted.
All right, where's the part where he talked? There you go, Trump.
Thing too, because they're trying to discourage voters from voting for him in the next election.
No. I don't know why they would think that would be the case, because in the case of Trump, hold on one second. I have a give me 1 second. Where's the screen on this? Where's the oh shit? Give me 1 second. Nope, this one. Hold on. Why did my buttons get all rearranged? 1 second. Whoop! Quit it. Come back. Stop. It's gonna undo my thing. Nope. Let's go back to here. So, there you go. And then that I don't want to turn off the stream. How do I stop that one from happening? Hold on. Lights again. Lights on. There we go. This guy back here. I don't want that to happen. It'll end my stream if I press that button, and I want to interrupt it, and I don't know why it will work. It gave me a warning that it will do that, and I don't want to just don't stop. Don't stop. There you go. Open that. 1 second. Quit it. There we go. Back to this. Here. Hopefully it doesn't go. Okay. If I disappear, I apologize. I have a button on here that it like all of a sudden it was like my camera was freaking out. All right, there we go. And I think we're okay. Fingers crossed. I'll keep my eye on the thing. Don't go away. Yeah. Okay, we're fine, I think. Yeah, exactly. Sarpa says Timothy McVeigh had his beliefs too. I agree. It's an excellent point. Okay, I think we're fine now. Give me 1 second. There we go.
I think this will just strengthen his cause, but your final word.
Well, the indictment sickens me. I think we've crossed a line now that we're not going to ever be able to come back from.
Yeah, that's what really upsets everybody. Oh, by the way, this is going to be boring and annoying. Hold on 1 second. I'm trying to hunt down any of the live ones, because this clip, I mean, whatever. Crosstalk, Trump indicted. Here we go. There's a bunch of these things. We'll see in the trends window. There we go. Let me open this up. So Rumble is all a flutter. Insane. Trump indicted. Oh, Behizzy is freaking out about it. Stu Peters' network they're live about it. Look at this fucking picture and that's the Stu Peters network. Is he not on?
Can drinking water before bed burn 46 pounds in 2 weeks?
No.
If you are struggling to lose weight and you're over
Tuesday
25, you need to hear this. People are burning
I don't know.
Because the last point of inquiry I've had is that it's so quick.
Crosstalk, as in cross, as in a cross, as in it's a cross. Isn't that sweet? Crosstalk with Ed Zoll.
The response is so quick from celebrities, so quick from politicians. And that's why we do have questions about whether these things are pre-planned. Because instead of like grieving with the parents, praying for the parents, we have people like even 20 minutes while the bodies were still warm. You had an individual from Highland Park, this mother, come out in front of the school, said she just happened to be on vacation. And she decided on vacation, I'm going to head down to the school shooting, and I'm going to use this as a platform to call for gun control. Well, in addition to that...
yeah, you mean somebody who they are the mother of a victim and felt moved, like, oh my God, this happened nearby. People will be thinking about this. It'd be a good time to bring this up. No wonder he's like, oh, by the way, for everybody who says that this particular group of Christians that wear crosses all the time as a baseline symbol, that somehow they're going to be against guns or be against even the death penalty, I would remind you that their belief system is such that had their savior not been murdered, they wouldn't actually have a religion. If he'd have just said, this is me overcoming death, and he just